Hi, my name is John from Japanese Knife Imports, and today we're going to cover the names of different double bevel knives found in kitchens in Japanese. So, we're going to start with this knife, which is called
牛刀 or Wagyuto.
the gyuto or wagyuto meaning that it has the wa handle, are used for general all-purpose knives in your kitchens. They can be used to chop, to slice, to dice, pretty much anything that you want to do. This is the knife that you'll go to for 90% of that. It's the equivalent of a chef's knife, as would be found in a Western kitchen, although generally it's a lot thinner than German chef's knives. As you can see here, it's kind of very thin. This one is a little bit thicker and yet still relatively thin when compared to German knives. Generally speaking, the lengths of these that you find are between 210 millimeters and 270 millimeters. Sometimes you can find them a little bit longer, sometimes shorter. For most professional cooks, we recommend about 240 millimeter or 270 millimeter. And for home cooks, we recommend about 210 millimeter or 240 millimeters. This next knife is called
筋引き
or
wa 筋引き.
Again, wa sujihiki, referring to the wa style handle or Japanese style handle. Sujihiki are slicing knives. Generally can be used to slice things. Different from a yanagiba in the sense that this is a double bevel knife, so the function and the way that it cuts will be a little bit different. This is an easier knife to learn how to use than a yanagiba, which requires a little bit more practice and skill, and actually someone teaching you who actually knows what they're doing would be really nice. These are generally used by pulling through to do your cutting. Sometimes people use the heel and use thrust cutting motions, and I know even a few people that use sujihiki as all-purpose knives. I did it for a little bit when I was working professionally, and actually it works out really well because the blade height is a little bit narrower. You find less wedging and less food sticking to it. This next style of knife is called
Petit or wapeti.
So the petit knife is used for small tasks in the kitchen, whether it's peeling fruit or doing tournées, as some people in classic French kitchens may do. Cutting smaller tasks where you don't need such a large knife for it. Generally speaking, people at home feel more comfortable with this size knife as well. Petit knife come in sizes ranging from very small, I've even seen some as 100 millimeters, to even 210 millimeters is still considered petit knife sometimes. This one is 180 millimeters, and this one is 120 millimeters, so you can see a little bit of a size difference there. The grip, usually people use a pinch grip or very high pinch grip for these knives, so you can kind of use it more in hand. Petit knives tend to touch cutting boards a lot less. Most people use it in the air as they go, but it doesn't mean it can't be used on the cutting board. This next knife is called
Santoku or bunkabocho.
Also, some people refer to it as home knife. This is a general all-purpose knife designed for home kitchens. It has a kind of blunted edge, which makes it a little bit more user-friendly. It doesn't feel like you're going to stab yourself so much with it. And they're generally in a smaller size, usually about 165 to 180 millimeters. This one happens to be 170 millimeters. You can find them in both Western and wa handles. This one is more of a Western handle style. They tend to have a flatter profile, as they're really a combination of the next knife that we're going to cover and a chef's knife. So it can be used for whatever you're using it for as an all-purpose knife. It actually, the name means three good things or three virtues. So they had like the idea of cutting, slicing, and chopping. But it's generally an all-purpose knife. This next knife that we have here is called
Nakiri.
Some people also refer to it as ryoba usuba, but you hear it a lot less often. This is a vegetable knife. It's a double bevel knife. A lot of people think it looks like usuba and is the same as usuba, but it's very different. The cutting is very different. The geometry of the blade is very different. There's no kataba edge. There's no single bevel edge or hollow ground back. So it cuts like a double bevel knife. People use it as a general all-purpose vegetable knife for chopping vegetables, mincing things. It actually works really well for juliennes or brunoise or that kind of thing, where it's small, detail-oriented cuts with very nice, clean angles and whatnot. So this is nakiri. This last knife we have here is called
Takobiki, and the one that Jonathan is holding is ryoba takobiki.
This is ryoba takobiki because, of course, it's double beveled. It has a bevel on both sides of the knife. a real takobiki would be a very similar profile to this, but like yanagiba in the sense that it's kataba knife. It has the single bevel and the hollow ground back on the single bevel takobiki. This double bevel takobiki is also a slicer. It has a flat profile, so it can be used in a little bit of a different way than the yanagiba, which has the kind of curved up tip. And they do make ryoba yanagiba, which is pretty much the same as sujihiki. I've seen people use these as ham slicers before. They work really well for actually hamon or prosciutto and that kind of thing. So anyways, that covers some of the double bevel knives that you see in kitchens. We hope you find this helpful. Again, I'm John from Japanese Knife Imports. Thanks so much.